Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on Productions. Today I Bankrupt being joined once again by Jimmy and Jake.
Oh, I guess I'm here.
What's going on, y'all?
And today's matchup is me versus one of the newer guys. He was supposed to come out today. Unfortunately, I think he said work got a hold of him, so he couldn't make it out, unfortunately. So we're going through it anyways. I brought AOD back because it's been a busy week for me and I didn't build anything. And he's
busy week. I gotta play AOD again. Boo hoo, woe is me.
Man, I got a new job. Leave me alone. But he brought, this is also Byron, and he brought Super 17, which I was super excited to play against because I actually love this deck. So I was kind of excited to see what his take on it was and whatnot.
Yeah, I think you're the only person I've ever seen play this deck. And I saw him asking about a couple cards in the group chat earlier in the week, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave that for Bancroft.
I didn't see those messages at all. So I feel kind of bad now.
Oh, somebody got to him. He got an answer.
Yeah, we talked about it during this match, like which units and whatnot, the order of, so he was a bit confused on the 3-drop and how the effects work and when to play and whatnot. So I kind of guided him with the help of Jimmy, just clarifying and whatnot. So overall, a really good match. And I felt like, Jimmy, you had the bye this week. This was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, like Bancroft playing AOD goes one of two ways. It's either the match is over in 3 turns and then Bancroft's sitting there all high and mighty, or the game goes on for an hour and it's just them punching each other in the face by the end of it. There's no in between. There's no like mid-range game of AOD for Bancroft. It's either it's over in 3 turns or they both have 7 energy.
I think the only mid-range ending you could, I don't know, because turn 5 is kind of out of the mid-range, if you ask me. So, yeah, I think I might agree with that, too.
Yeah. But this is a really fun game to watch because 17 is such a... While what it does isn't odd, it plays in an odd way that... at least for me, it's really awkward to play against this deck. I ran into this deck a lot on Untap when it was hype. And then Bancroft played it at the shop a couple times, and it's like every time I played against it, it's like, oh, I didn't know it could do that. Like, oh wow, like you're playing from this area now. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know where anything comes from half the time. So this is really fun to watch.
So for those who aren't familiar, there's both the Hellfighter 17 and the regular 17. Both of them have, the 1-drops in this case, have the activate main. Or it's you whatever once per turn, where you pull the opposite from your drop area, I think, or hand, might be wrong on that part, put it underneath it, search your deck or drop for the 3-drop. And typically you want to use the 3-drop's effect at the beginning of the turn, which is pitch it and another android card from your hand. I think look top 7 cards and pull a 5 or less android card to your hand. That way it's already in the drop, don't you have to pull it from your deck. The 5-drop evolves of 1 energy. The 5-drop does have deflect, where the 3-drop has barrier. The 5-drop's 19k, I might be wrong on that number, and it's a dual attack as well. So, and then the 8-drop, you have to have 4 energy for it. I think it's evolve 3, and it can potentially be a dual attack, triple strike to restand your leader as well. So, like, it can get pretty nasty.
Yeah, if 17 ever gets all the way up that chain, you're in some serious trouble.
And with it being yellow is so good at slow rolling your opponent with all their negates or ways of controlling wide boards, because he does play quite a bit of the Forbidden Power, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think the only thing really limiting 17 is how chunky the package is.
It's a lot
to
of
make
cards.
the deck works. Because usually yellow matchups it's just basically good yellow cards deck, where this is more archetype based. That I feel like there's just not the deck space to really run a lot of the good yellow cards. And I think that's the reason we haven't seen a ton of 17 really making splashes anywhere, just because the good stuff decks are just better because they're good stuff. And there's no extra fluff, while like not to reiterate, but the top end of this chain is nutty as hell.
Yeah, it's almost worth casting outside of its archetype.
Yeah. For real.
I played the Enter 13, sorry, not Enter, Bojack as a
Mhm.
way of kind of controlling the battle cards. I did forget that the 5-drop has a way of just eating a card on play, or whatever. But he's like, oh, so battle cards, so I can't attack with battle cards, right? And I'm like, well, you can't attack by leader with battle cards. He's like, cool, Unison. I'm like, that works. And then he swings at the Turtleless anyways. And I'm like, that works even more.
Um,
So I get myself down to 4 life and just kind of play the garlic on my turn just to get rid of an energy. That way I'm not wasting my leader's awakening. And for those who aren't familiar, this is the AOD leader. It's just a metal leader from TCG Metals.
really cool dudes. I
They're-
like them. They're my second favorite Dragon Ball related person. Me
Well,
being
thank
the
you,
first.
Jimmy. Oh,
Hey, I'm paying you for me to be your favorite. Okay, you're like my third favorite. Okay,
okay, I'll take that.
yeah. Bearcraw's not even on the damn list.
That's good. I after what you guys did, I don't want to be on that list.
What did we do? Huh?
I like it. I like
What
it,
did we
Bancroft.
do? Better watch what you say.
So right now in the matchup, I'm just kind of playing out my attacks and whatnot. And if I'm correct, he does activate Forbidden Power here. Might be
Oh
wrong,
my
though.
god, Bancroft swinging with a super combo? He must be really bad at this game.
I always swing with that super combo.
It's better for the effect, honestly, than to
Yeah.
combo with it. I think they just put super combo in it because the effect is so strong. They don't want you to play actual super combos in the same deck. I think it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the card's actual combo usage.
In truth be told, I did adjust this to being 4 of the slugs because of the Janimba AOD card, or Baby Janimba. Such a good card. If your opponent takes the life, that's fine as well, but they allow you to draw 2 cards, even better. And I don't remember, I think it was during Jimmy's profile, he kind of breaks down like playing that card kind of tells you about your opponent's hand in a way. Where if they're willing to take the hit or if they're willing to let you draw the cards, kind of lets them know like, are they able to defend against stuff if they're not able to and whatnot.
Anytime you can force your opponent to make a decision, especially one where you gain advantage no matter what, it's always good to make your opponent make choices like that, because it only takes them screwing up one time making the poor choice for you to win the game.
I think I would add one caveat to that, and that's you have to pay attention to what the choices they're making are, and like
Yeah.
what that might tell you about what's in their hand. Because just like slamming offering over and over again and not really thinking about the result doesn't really give you a lot of information, and if you aren't thinking deeply enough, your opponent could even like fake you out and make a decision you don't think they'll make, and it end up advantaging them.
Yeah. And in the case of offering, it's like no matter what they choose, you're still getting advantage. But it's just how much advantage
Right.
can you eke out of paying attention to the game and paying attention to either their body language or like the way they take a life is sometimes enough to tell you what stage of the game you're in.
Yeah, offering might have been a bad example, but you see my point.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to point out the mindset I had here because I feel like AOD ending turn 3 with 3 open energy and not even using my leader's free play effect was kind of weird, possibly, for some people. The only good cards I had to free play off of, either being the Bojack, which I just want to use as a combo piece, just to use as a combo instead, was the Broly card, which had no effect on with his 3-drop. So I figured I'd wait a turn to play the Bojack, the Broly card. And then I also have Angel 13s in my hand currently. In case he wanted to try to build another chain, I was able to prevent that from happening. At least that was my mindset going into this turn.
Mhm.
But then I was expecting giving him that card Double Strike. I was like, oh, huh, nice.
So I see Petrification Road here. Was there what was the mindset of rowing a Petrification, especially in such a boss monster heavy deck?
I have another one in my hand.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, 2 Petrifications is always better than 1.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Is there ever a world where that black energy could come back and hurt you?
No, not with this deck. I mean,
Not a big deal,
because
then.
the leader removes Pacific cost for AOD cards.
Oh, okay. So
I-
energy is energy at that point.
Correct.
Yeah, my thought here is that with a boss monster heavy deck, Petrification is just one of the best at just saying boss monsters can't hurt me.
I
No
have
boss or no
also,
bossing.
if correct, I have the pan in my hand as well.
Oh, but like a high roller over here.
So like if I felt like I was in danger, I can negate with that and go from there. So here's a bit of a. I had to get Jimmy real quick because it's been a while since I played Super 17, and I knew the 5-drop had the ability to play the 3-drop. It's an option, so he has to confirm if he's going to go for that effect or not, and then I would go with the counterplay.
Yeah,
And
there has to be an announcement of a effect playing a battle card for a counter window to open, and that was just a case of just slamming the card down before there was a call made.
He chose not to play a card, which I don't know in the long run that's the best decision, because it does make me tap an energy just to play the card, but it does give me an extra battle card on the board fairly cheaply. But if I were to play Angel 13, he would have to discard a card though in the process. So
Yeah, I think the body plus the discard outweighs the energy investment on your side. I think it was probably the best to choose not to play anything, because of course, what advantage was he getting out of that? You know, AOD is already such a energy efficient list. Of course, you would have been tapped out here, but who said you didn't have a Sensu Bean in hand that you could have thrown to keep one energy open even after playing Boo? And there's a lot of Boo haters in the chat. I think I'm becoming one now. I really do not like this card in this list, and Bancroft's just he's a strange man.
So I currently played a list with 3 Boos, 2 Vegetas, but
That's too
in
much.
my sideboard I have 2 more Vegetas in there.
Jesus Christ.
So that way, if I need to take the Boo engine, if I feel like I don't need this, I have no problem taking it out for best of 3s and going straight into the aggro board. Just our locals tends to be more defensive, and it may be because a lot of us tend to play very aggro based decks. So being able to have a backup plan when I can't go for that push always works in my favor.
Whack.
I mean, it potentially stops 2 attacks on its own.
Yeah, I honestly, I think Boo is one of the better designed unisons in the game, and I'll jam it in any blue deck I can feasibly do it in, and apparently it's good even outside of blue.
Oh, I mean, I'm a massive Boo Unison enjoyer, just not in AOD.
That's fair. Vegeta's just pretty dang good.
Yeah, one Vegeta gang.
So here
That's all you.
he tries to go to activate the oh my gosh, Union Absorb, I think is what it's called actually. And I just counterplay it. So he goes for another chain, and I'm like, yeah, you're good now. I tapped myself out.
Says the man with an active Boo Unison.
Yes, I know this, but this deck could get pretty nasty, especially if he plays it right. And he's been playing it pretty good so far. Like, -1 will stop a card. The blocker will stop another attack, but if he potentially forces me to use the -1 ahead of time, then I'll have to rely on the blocker. But like I said earlier, I do have a pan though.
It's just mean. AOD shouldn't be allowed to play this pan.
I mean, it masses the board very nicely. It allows the pan to be free play. Now, I explained to him, like, he can't attack with battle cards anymore while this card's up during this turn. So, like, if he wanted to go up the chain, I did let him know, like, this does have a active main where I could steal a card and whatnot. So he was very kind of not wanting to continue to chain up, but hold off on it. But I would say what he does, I was not expecting, and I absolutely love this play coming up. I think you walked away during this part of the match, Jimmy.
Yeah, I just couldn't handle seeing you play this pan secret rare. It was just too mean. Bancroft, you can't see it on camera, but he was whispering to me. He's like, "Hey, fuck these new guys."
I don't think I once said
I
that.
don't. That doesn't sound like something Bancroft would say.
Oh, Bancroft 100% said it.
I don't know.
Bancroft, I personally really like the new guys. I think they're a very nice bunch, and I enjoy playing Dragon Ball with them even more so than Bancroft at this point, to be completely honest. Yeah, Bancroft's just too mean. Like, I don't like it.
So swinging with the unison, because he's a lot attack of unisons, activates the spirit boost, or activate battle on his leader, which is spirit boost, which allows him to tap a card on his opponent's field if correct, and the unisons, when it loses a marker due to spirit boost, can pop a card in rest mode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You 100% deserve that.
That's a thing.
So the question is, do we see it here?
Do we see what? He's already done it.
I will let you know.
Okay.
No, I've seen the play already, but do we see... Okay, so there's no Champa.
No.
I didn't know if he was going to go into like a Champa there on the swing, but he did not.
That's what I said no negate. He does that. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then he just ends. I think he super combos, and that was it. I'm like, okay. And that's what I was thinking, like, okay, he can't take a battle card just a turn. I can safely take this damage, but if I'm not careful on this turn, which right there he activates Forbidden Power, I'm at 1 life. So if I can't wrap this up or have the right cards in my hand to negate his next turn, I'm screwed.
He's tapped out, right? Yep.
He is tapped out because he used Forbidden Power to tap out, so I can only attack twice with battle cards now. I swung with the Double Strike unison to his lead, and he negated by using the Angel 17. I think it's like Spirit Boost 2 to free negate.
Mm-hmm.
Plays it in rest mode. All I have left right now is the leader swing. And I think, so I fished for this. I'm going to play this card next to get the additional draws or give him the crit life. Oh, I'm comboing up, okay.
Deep on the combo.
Yeah, so we correct this. He did this out of order. He wanted to activate the leader to activate, I think, battle first. Or sorry, that's what it was. He wanted to use the power boost from that. So we kind of corrected the order so he could get that out of the way right. So he used Awaken Power first. Takes that, then he turns on and combos with the card afterwards. Get that little extra combo power out of the way.
Yeah. It's a little order of operations.
And I'm only doing 1 damage. That's why I didn't like fully combo out of here. I'm just trying to get that 1 extra hit in. That way I can swing with the leader and go for game. But he ends up coming out of this attack, and I'm like, okay. So swing lead here. I guess I clear the battle card first.
If I remember correctly, that 17 counter can start another chain, correct?
I don't. I can't remember off the top of my head. I had to look into it. But here he chose to crit the life. I'm like, oh. Past turn? I was trying to dig for another unison with that. That way I could just use the bottom effect to play unison and just get the last swing in. But because he crit the life instead of me not drawing, I was forced to just in turn because I couldn't do any more attacks.
Yeah.
And here I counterplayed the 1-drop being played. I'm like, no.
Yeah. This is down to the wire.
Like I said, this match went closer than I expected it to. So, the unison he's currently playing, it is the unison from, if correct, was it Battle Booster, I think?
Battle Evo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He actually does not have a playset of the Dr. Mew and Duro unison,
Mhm.
which I forgot to talk about. I think we have extras, so I'm going to try to hit him up and see if he needs those extra ones or not, so he can complete this deck. I don't know how much that would have changed, because it does have a, I think you draw one and you could discard one. He did have 2 cards in his hand, so he could have, see if he could draw into a better card to play during this. And I think he ends up just swinging with a 9K with no cards in hand, I think. Or he might have 1 card in hand. And I go, no block. So I can't -1 it. And I do have plenty of cards on the field, and I have, I think, 3 cards in my hand currently. So I felt there's something he can do with that. And yeah, it was just a unison. So he ends up passing turn, and that is pretty much game at this point. But
yeah,
I was like, holy crap, this went way closer than I thought it was going.
yeah. Sometimes being able to dig for one more card, like you said, is really just game changing, and it's just unfortunate that that last card was a unison.
Yeah.
Like,
I got the unison off the draw for turn that time. So like I said, if I would have gotten that draw 2, I could have finished the game with turn earlier. But because he denied that, he had an extra chance just to get that crack back. But with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's video. Keep minding those buttons down below and on the screen. And like always, read your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.